Among all the genius works that the great Brazilian composer Heitor Villa-Lobos wrote, figures in a special place the cycle of pieces that he named choros. The Portuguese word choro means literally cry or weep, and Villa-Lobos takes it from the style of popular music of the same name from the Brazilian streets and towns. So his cycle of pieces is a pan-Brazilian synthesis of native folklore, both Indian and popular, presented in a classical concert style. Most of these pieces, called choros, are played nowadays in a separate, independent way, but Villa-Lobos had the ambition that they would be played all together. We have 12 pieces named choros, plus one named Introduction to the Choros, plus one named Choros bis, or Encore to the Choros. Most of them were composed in the form of one single movement, with the exception of number 11 that is in 3 movements, and the Choros bis, or Encore, which is in 2 movements. And so the sequence of a full performance of the cycle would be as follows. First, the introduction to the choros, which is like an overture to the cycle and is for guitar and orchestra. A performance of it typically takes around 13 minutes. Then the choros number 1 for solo guitar. Number 2 for flute and clarinet. Choros number 3, which is one of the most coloristic ones, written for male choir or 7 wind instruments or all both together, and it's subtitled Pica-Pau or Woodpecker. Then choros number 4 for 3 horns and trombone. Then choros number 5 for solo piano, subtitled Alma Brasileira or Brazilian Soul. Now, up to this point, from choros number 1 through 5, all these are quite short pieces, which performance takes around 5 minutes or less. And from choros number 6 up to 12, Villa-Lobos takes more time for his developments, resulting in more monumental works. The cycle continues with choros number 6, which is for orchestra. A performance of it takes around 25 minutes. Then we have choros number 7, subtitled Septimino or Septet. It is for winds, violin, cello, and 1 ad libitum percussion. A performance takes around 10 minutes. there's Chôros number 8 for large orchestra and 2 pianos. Playing it takes around 20 minutes. Then there's Chôros number 9 for orchestra, taking around 25 minutes. Then Chôros number 10 for choir and orchestra, subtitled Rasga o Coração, or It Tears Your Heart. Takes around 13 minutes. Then number 11, which is the most monumental of the cycle. It is for piano and orchestra, and it takes around 1 hour and 5 minutes to perform it. Lastly, number 12 for orchestra, taking 38 minutes. And the Chôros bis, or encore to the Chôros, for violin and cello, and taking 9 minutes. Now, Villa-Lobos also worked on 2 other Chôros that nowadays we have them as lost. Number 13 that was thought for band and 2 orchestras, and the number 14 for orchestra, band and choir. There's also another piece that Villa-Lobos wrote and completed, which is a wind quintet subtitled En Forma de Chôros, which some people consider it as related to the cycle, although Villa-Lobos did not assign a number to the piece inside of the cycle of the Chôros. Villa-Lobos assigned these numbers to the pieces of the Chôros as soon as he was having a conception or a concept of it. That's why the chronology of the composition of the pieces doesn't go along with the numbers assigned. For example, Chôros number 7 was completed in 1924, and the next year, 1925, Chôros number 3 and 5 were completed, and then the next year, 1926, Chôros number 4 and 6 were completed. Also, we see that the concept of the instrumentations go from less to more, with more chamber works at the beginning and big orchestras of huge proportions at the end, with big sections of brass and woodwinds and a big number of percussion instruments, both classical as well as native Brazilian. In the end, a performance of the full cycle would take more than 3 hours, which is a very Wagnerian concept or Mahlerian concept. It is also very interesting to contemplate that all this monumentality has a seed in the musical elements that mark the Chôros number 1. Formally and tonally, Chôros number 1 is both the simplest and the most traditional of the series of the Chôros. consisting on a simple 5-part rondo, and which substance draws on the traditional elements of the Brazilian popular choro. Unlike the successor pieces, there is no attempt here to synthesize different aspects of Brazilian music into a new concept of work. Instead of it, it employs the patterns and figurations and simple structure characteristic of the Brazilian improvised music, having as a result an iconic work of the guitar repertoire, remembered by its well-known 3-note opening gesture, where each note is marked by a fermata, and taking us to that emblematic series of chords. It is also very significant that the first choro was dedicated by Villa-Lobos to Ernesto Nazareth, which was a Brazilian composer of traditional choros. And there is the genius of Villa-Lobos in the cycle of the choros, which Villa-Lobos finished composing only to go further to compose another cycle of pieces that he ambitioned to write, which is the Bahianas Brasileiras.